All right, it's game number 3.
Oh, the draft is just
Almost
about done.
All right, that's
so
fine.
we're hopping in towards the latter end, so let's just kind of dissect what they have. We don't have to go too much into it, but we can see Tassadar, Johanna, Kael'thas, and Arthas.
Hey, you were like yelling at me for like sort of predicting that they might run Arthas, and here it is.
Double tank.
Okay, double tank, KT, and 2-arc. PLEYZ, probably something a bit more standard for the meta, maybe. Yes, we have Anubarak, Uther, Jaina, Vala. Okay, I see that both the melee assassins were banned out. Sylvanas is out. We're on the mine, so Vikings probably not a possibility. Extra damage, I don't know if they're comfortable with Falstad. Zagara. Zagara is probably a big deal for them to grab if they feel comfortable on the hero. Who else could they pick? Kerrigan? Yeah, Kerrigan.
Yeah, Kerrigan will work nicely here. I
Kerrigan.
think that's the best pick.
Yep.
Especially on mines.
If they feel comfortable running Kerrigan, go for it. Otherwise, take Zagara. Okay. Never mind.
These nerds have heard my calling for more Tyrande.
Do I like this?
I would actually prefer Kerrigan, honestly.
I don't like this.
You know what, though?
Like this. I hope they show
I'm
us
open
something.
to it.
No, for sure. For sure. I wonder why they're not going for the Sanctification style. Maybe because I couldn't get Uther. Uther was taken away. They only like to run it with Uther and Divine Storm.
They could do that. I think Divine Storm would happen in this game.
No, I mean, 2-arc doesn't like to run Sanctification unless they have Divine Storm with it.
Oh,
and because
you're
Uther
probably
was
right.
scooped up really early,
yeah.
they said we're not going to run this.
That makes sense.
We'll take Arthas and Johanna. So Arthas will very likely be played in this sort of bruiser role. Very interesting. Tyrande, for me, signifies early aggression. Like you're going to want to have some rotations, a lot of blow-ups very early. And Uther, Tyrande, yeah, there's enough stun time to make that work. You have Jaina there for the damage, but I just, like, usually you need the warrior just to kind of initiate, right? Like, so Muradin works well because you can leap in. It's a very quick ability. You have the Thunder Stomp. Clap. I always want to call it Thunder Clap.
Slap.
I think that's the level 4 is Thunder Clap. Thunder Stomp. And then you have that slows them. It makes it a lot easier to hit the Storm Bolt, and then you can follow up with the Lunar Flare. But as Anubarak, it's not really so easy to do that.
No.
You can do it in theory, but that's much more difficult to execute.
There's a lot of things going for them, like Jaina plus Tyrande, but
yeah,
like you're saying, it's just Kerrigan kind of fits that role a little bit better in a lot of ways. But we're going to have to see, you know, maybe they've practiced this. It's definitely a little bit harder on the Tyrande to execute it, you know, accurately and successfully, but I'm excited. Game number 1 here.
Number 3.
Game number 3. Oh my goodness.
Let's get those updated. Just so that everyone's aware that we are jumping into a series. 3rd game in. It is going to be the PLEYZ over on the left side of the map, the blue side. I know that Jake's busy doing production stuff, but I'll run you through it, guys. We do have Pirate Rum is going to be on Tyrande, Lex Uther on Uther, Aragi is going to be on Jaina, Daihu on the Anubarak, and in the top lane, very likely defending by himself. Zeus will be on Vala.
All right, production things have been handled-ish. Good, great, grand, boom. Look at that. And 2-arc gaming on the right side of the map. We have Panucci, Traidor.
Jake, so close. It is not winners finals.
Oh, my goodness.
Got him. That's okay. Yes, we have Panucci on the Johanna. Chubbs is going to be on Brightwing. Suki on Arthas. Furious D will be playing Kael'thas. And in the top lane, Traidor will be on the Tassadar.
What round is this? Loser round 6.
Loser is quarterfinals, I think. But loser 6 is fine.
All right.
That tells the story. Very curious to see how these teams are going to play out. And actually, a lot of aggression very early going on. They almost were able to follow that up with... Okay, I see. I see what their plan is now. Actually, it's going to be Lex Uther as the aggressor. And it's a lot easier to land his stun. It's just a point-click ability. He gets close enough, he stuns. And if the communication is there, the follow-up with the Impale from Anubarak, right into the Burrow Charge, right into the Lunar Flare. That's the execution that they're looking to have. So not a lot of pressure on Anubarak, like I was saying, where it would be difficult to execute. It's actually more Uther has to get that position. We'll see if they go to execute it right here. Iron Skin kind of makes things a bit difficult.
It does make it a lot harder, of course, but it's going to be really fun to see this actually unfold. I mean, the Double Warrior versus a super blow-up composition. The thing about Double Warrior is, though, and actually when I think about this a little bit more, Tyrande makes your warrior a lot less of a warrior. 25% additional damage received. It doesn't matter how big your health pool is. You're going to fall rather quickly.
Yeah. So, another thing to talk about is the... Ooh, Dimension. Okay, didn't quite see that the Iron Skin had been popped. They have enough damage to take out Panucci. And in fact, no, it's actually going to be Jaina who has overextended. That is Zaragi. Lex Uther looking to try to get another stun down. A lot of damage back and forth between both teams. No one being taken down just yet.
9 seconds till the mines are open, and we just saw Jaina Hearth back to base, immediately making her way down that top lane, and we will see that the entrance happening here in the bottom for the side of 2Ark. Do they follow? Are they willing?
They're hopping in. So the big thing I want to talk about is the level 1 ability, Fist of Justice, picked up for Uther. That is a 1-second cooldown reduction on Hammer of Justice for every auto attack that is thrown down. So you can take something that is a 10-second cooldown, especially something that is being used to initiate for the rest of the team. And you can have that much more frequently. We'll see if they have many of the members rotating around. They have Tyrande nearby, Lex Uther. Again, pay attention to the Uther's positioning. He is very likely to be the initiator for most of these sort of blow-ups.
Yeah, 32 to 38, very even here in terms of the skull count prior to the boss being taken. Both teams are together, but we see the flank coming from 2 lanes right now out of 2Ark, and they're looking to initiate. Daihu is going to have to use that bird charge to get on out. Yeah,
I think that means they're actually backing themselves into a corner. This is getting quite scary for the PLEYZ at this point. Trader trying to get the flank, so they've sort of bullied carved themselves an escape path, if you will, to get themselves out. Both teams just about to hit level 4, and it's going to be slow getting that experience. It's pretty much just going to be that passive amount of experience picked up. First, level 4s will go the way of 2Ark, yes.
Yep, 2Ark does, but both teams now have that level 4. We see the initiation happening. A very low Daihu going to burrow charge forward, getting the stun. The shielding comes out, but he barely does fall 1 for 1 at this point in time. And we do see they're really getting aggressive against Pirate Rum. A nice condemn connecting with both Zeus and Pirate Rum, but Lex Uther rotating up with Aragi. They might be able to turn this around.
Looks as though the weak members should be able to channel that door to get out to the upper lane, but the chase continues on. And we do see, yes, John Panucci looking to try to follow that up.
Zeus went the wrong way. He thought he wanted to go right, but he actually a little bit out of position as a result. That is very unfortunate. He will end up falling, and we do see the final members getting out of the mines in the bottom part of the map.
So a lot of time spent in the mines. Very few takedowns picked up. 2 to 1 at this point for 2Ark. And the skull count is still quite low. Looks at this point, 2Ark should be able to wrap this up, picking themselves up a 68 skull golem.
So Tyrande,
formidable.
The Sentinel down here. Pirate Room does know they're here. Brightwing phase shifting in. This is not something they can take a Nubarak. Jaina almost there, but they will not have Vala for a brief period of time. They're just contesting them, forcing them back. Nice Impale connecting 2 targets. The boss actually slapped. Wants a big stun from Daihu, but he will end up getting very low. The double support keeping him alive with those shieldings, and somehow, some way, he manages to fall.
Wow, that was actually impressive.
Wow.
He bursted his HP up very, very quickly. Was not able to keep himself up, but you know, the double protective shield plus the 2 heals, like you mentioned, the double support, pretty much was able to keep him alive quite a bit longer. And imagine if he had had like a Locust Storm. I realize that the levels are quite early, but if a similar team fight had broken out past level 10, that Anubarak would be living.
Living, man.
Yes, not the case. However,
not the case
56 to 44 Skull Golem, so the PLEYZ were able to sort of salvage this situation. Keep in mind, this is game number 3 of this series. We hopped in mid-series. This is do or die for both teams. 2Ark, no strangers to the 2-1, if I remember correctly. A lot of their series that they had, especially in this past season for Major League, they had a lot of 2-1s against a lot of the teams they faced.
Both teams opting to hold their Giants to use them defensively versus the Grave Golems. And we do see the Sentinel did reveal the positioning on Arthas just standing there. So they know it's going to be even footing here. 56 to 44, slight advantage in favor of the PLEYZ.
So who is going to defend? Who is going to attack 2Ark? They have no interest in attacking. They want to make sure they can keep their structures up long enough. What kind of mules are available? Tyrande can get a mule.
And yeah, Tyrande could definitely grab a mule. I think she will. Yes, there's 1 mule. We do see searing attacks here for Vala. Level 7 just about to be reached. Tassadar will likely get a Mule also.
Cleanse on the
Uther. Another thing to point out, Hunter's Mark is phenomenal for defense against these golems.
Sure.
It's one of the few debuffs that does work on a golem in this entire game, and you see they defend it rather nicely, and that Mule will heal up that wall to fall.
Yep, Mule was picked up on Tassadar. Rune Tap on Arthas, so actually going for a little bit less damage. It's actually going to be Johanna that is taking up the damage roll with the Roar. That's increased damage on the punish ability. That Swipe that slows down heroes. And of course the Sin's Exposed, which is attached to the Shield Glare, and it's like extra damage output for anyone that takes additional damage after that debuff is applied.
All right, but I like these rotations. They put on a bit of pressure in the top lane, took out a single tower, then rotate down here safely to the bottom lane to eliminate these giants without losing any structures. The Mule can freely get this wall back up to tip-top shape, but while they are exposed, the rest of this wall was eliminated by 2Arc.
Very close game thus far. 3 takedowns to 3. Giants, or Golems, excuse me, getting a similar amount of work done. Level experience, very close. Awesome to see 2 teams so evenly matched in Game 3 of the lower bracket facing this elimination.
And a bit split up right now is the PLEYZ. 2Arc all together pressuring throughout the map. We can see that Mule starting to do its job, going to work, but the Flame Strike should be enough to almost take it down. Not quite. Living Bomb? Yeah, that'll take care of it.
Okay. Again, this is sort of that awkward spot between when both of the mine spots will pop up. This should be about another minute from now. In the meantime, really the only contention point between these teams is taking the Bruisers, and even then, it's the weaker of the 2 camps in terms of what a lot of teams can do with it.
Yeah.
It just does a lot to soak up damage shots, but it's not even going to push down the lane that your Golem is going to push down as well, so they're always on the opposite lane. And we can see the mines open up in 25 seconds. Any kind of posturing that happens right now is just to get that head start, that better positioning, and also, of course, to soak the level 10. Get as close as possible.
Yeah, and they're just pushing on in. They do have very even footing in terms of the experience. Heroics is what they are after, and eliminating these bottom towers. That Mule is going to do nothing to stop this aggression. Yes, we do see that the plays are already set up in the mines, but that's going to put them nicely towards level 10.
Yeah, and of course, got to keep in mind that the skulls do give a certain amount of experience, so maybe a takedown or 2, but whichever team ends up taking a lot more of these skulls gets the advantage of having the stronger golem and also getting closer to level 10.
Yeah, they actually did collect quite a few, so it's dead even right now, actually slightly in favor of the PLEYZ, even though those towers were taken out. Trader, with this wave, just going to be shy of that level 10.
Oh, this is so dicey for either team, and look how confident 2Arc is. And we have Panucci going in with the slam. Okay, Suki. And the Howling Blast is going to be able to connect with a couple members. This should keep Suki alive for the time being. And level 10.
They leave. They get 40 and they leave. They're just like, you know what? We're going to push these lanes out. We're going to get the bigger advantage. And the level 10 talent.
Dragosa
oh
has been
my.
picked up for... I said it when we were casting last weekend. Syndragosa, if it's going to be played, it's going to be on this map.
Yeah.
For Arthas. I think it was probably when we were casting that complexity in. But we do have the Blessed Shield, the Archon. We do have the Blink Heal and the Phoenix.
But here goes the all-out war, and nice stun onto Suki. He's trying to back on up to use that Syndragosa. This damage being dealt from Kilthos. Zeus is very low in the front line. The shields come out just in the nick of time.
He doesn't have enough mana to cast Syndragosa. It would have been a really good spot to put it down right there. And Aragi getting the chase onto Trader. Just used Dimensional Warp. Doesn't have the prescience just yet. Not level 13. He's going to end up falling.
Nice plays there. And in the back line, we see that Pirate Rum working with Daihu to pick up this boss. The Beatles helping tank, helping keep Daihu alive. But in the top portion of the map, Suki
was trying to hearth out in this bush. They somehow had an idea that he was there, and it looked like an Envenom. Yeah, I think was thrown down from Aragi just to make sure that they were able to take out the Arthas. So both the tanks falling, Tassadar falling. This will give the advantage golem to the PLEYZ once again. This time a little bit more convincing.
Yeah, 68. I mean, once you surpass 60, the golem gets quite ferocious.
Ferocious. Formidably ferocious.
Oh, I like that, Kubi. All right, well, let us continue with this game and stop this accent because
Thank you, sir.
The Giants are now being collected here on the side of the PLEYZ.
Okay, so for that full defense, it might have actually been a little bit too early. I think it was for 2Arc. Perhaps a bit flustered after losing that team fight in the bottom side. The Giants, it's not so much that they will march past, they actually will. Yeah, they're going to miss the golem completely. So if they're looking to try to continue that defense, not going to be successful, and those Giants will get cleaned up rather quickly.
Yeah, they're going to get obliterated, honestly. The top Giants, though, on the other hand, are there in time to help defend. Syndragosa was used to lock down these structures for a fair amount of time so they can do the split push, but with the Mules and the Giants, it might be enough. Bottom lane, that's where the action is. The Mule knocking on the door of Tuark.
Yes, I think that they have enough members down here. They should be able to take this fort out. That will put the PLEYZ in a very favorable position thus far, and they will very easily be able to take out this fort.
Yeah, fort's going to go down. Top fort will probably end up falling as well, but with much less convincing fashion. We see the Divine Shield was used onto Daihu there, and one hero goes down. Panucci looking low. Suki, the double warrior, not going to be able to survive through this battle. And I bet they wish they had Syndragosa here because that door, well, it's going to go down.
The gates are open. Yeah, the Divine Shield was actually a pretty cool play, especially thrown onto Daihu at the last second. He activates his Locust Swarm, heals himself back up, doesn't even really require the remaining heals from his team. So kind of a neat way to make use of that. On top of that, you get a lot of AoE damage as well. And this has afforded them enough of an opportunity to take a keep on top of that.
Yeah,
they're going to back up.
Nice root there going off onto Chubbs.
Yeah, nice job, Golem, getting that root. Good job.
Well played, Golem. The Mule was not able to save this from the top Golem. The Giants did end up falling to the minions marching down that lane. So it will end up falling just about here. And still, not the worst.
Hello?
Hello?
Game is paused.
Hello?
Didn't see that requested from either side. Just sort of instant pause. I saw the screen go black. I was like, uh-oh. All right, we have. It looks as though one of their players is
DC/lag. Only can pause for DC. They unpause. Oh boy.
Oh. Yeah, I mean he's right. Assuming it's the same rule set that we have for BlizzCon, you can only pause.
All right, we're going back in.
Yeah. The ruling is the player has to actually disconnect. You can't just call lag. There's no way to confirm that. And you can't just say, "Oh, yeah, I have 500 MS right now. We got to pause."
Yeah.
There's no way to confirm that. So you have to wait for that actual disconnect to get the pause.
Okay, well, the game will resume right now, ladies and gentle nerds. We do see the Hedwig delivers a package to Traitor here in the bottom lane. Tuark now pressuring out this fort. They need to hit level 13 to be on an even talent footing. They are very, very close right now
to being able to do so, yes. But it will be some time before they are able to get that. They aren't soaking that top lane.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Just like that.
Just like I know. It's just sometimes it takes forever. Hit that level 13.
Grunt,
there it is.
You gotta grunt to get 13.
Prescience picked up for Tazo. Double spell shield for both of the warriors.
They want to stay alive. Worried about that Jaina damage. Of course, the damage from Tyrande as well as amplified by the Hunter's Mark, so that will help quite a bit. Giants being picked up. Syndragosa coming out, capitalizing on everything, but its Raider is quite low. The Starfall is in a great position. Condemn, not quite enough to dissuade their aggression, and Trader is going to use Dimensional Warp, but one more hit. The Hedwig, where is it? Goes out, does connect with Chubb.
Oh, that's going to allow the follow-up. Nice job from Zeus to catch up on that play, and I think the Dimensional Warp has been used. Prescient still off cooldown. Panucci will also end up falling. This is a lot of heroes down. They could go for it. They have two healers, right?
Yeah,
no.
they have Tyrande and Uther. They have about 20 seconds of time. It's not enough. I think they made the right call. They thought about it.
It's close. It was going to be so close. They had the HP pools. The question is damage output.
The mines are up too, right? So the damage output, that's one question. You cannot use Hunter's Mark unless you talented on the core. That's not a very common talent. Actually, we never see that talent.
I think they took it away, didn't they?
You know what? You're probably right.
I think they removed that ability, and it was later. I think it was level 16 talent regardless. So you're right. The mines are up. They have split up accordingly. They will net themselves a strong golem. They're taking the safer route to attempt to end the game. And it's not really like there's a huge pressure to end the game so early. Like, obviously, you don't want to always give them opportunities to get back. But it's really just Kael'thas that's going to... Okay!
Good night,
that was quick.
Tassadar. You just got turned into a sack lunch. You're going to be brought to school by Billy and gobbled because...
Sure, Jake. Yeah, but that is going to be a big deal, especially in terms of trying to collect this golem. And that may net a 90-plus...
It's looking rough here. Nice Syndragosa goes out, but does it matter? Ice Block being used by Chubbs, but that is now very much on cooldown. Divine Shield on the Nubarak with that Locust Swarm. Just in the face. Suki goes down. Chubbs going to blink heal away, but the Burrow Charge still in cooldown. Might be available in a few seconds here.
Wow. Time and time again, the Anubarak plus Divine Shield Locust Swarm has been a huge thorn in Tuark's side in terms of trying to take these team fights around.
Kubi, I'm so happy for the PLEYZ. They've just shown so much growth over the last couple of weeks, improving as a team, seeing this new squad have a lot of just confident team fighting. We saw good results, you know, making it to the top 8 in the North American Open, and they are poised to take this game versus Tuark right now.
Yes. 92 Skull Golem. They just need to defend against Tuark at this point in time, and they should be able to secure themselves this victory. Jake, you want to talk about how useful that Anubarak style was in this game? Yeah. Hit that Control 2 for me.
Control 2.
Damage against Vala, against Jaina.
Jaina, go home.
That's it. That's just like he was touching at least 3 people on the other side with the Locust Swarm constantly. And Divine Shield heals him back up to full. Very, very well played. A good combination just between Lex Uther and Daihu to make such good use of that. But yeah, kudos to both those guys.
Good night, Syndragosa. You did nothing there. Congratulations. And we do see a nice Blessed Shield going out onto Pirate Run, but he's already back at full health. The Condemn just pulling enemies closer to his demise. We do see Tassadar trying to escape Aragi, not going to be successful in doing so in game number 3. Going to go the way of the PLEYZ, and they will advance to the losers semi-finals, Kubi.
Yes. Tuark with a formidable run. You're able to take a 2-0 victory over Vortex. A 2-1 victory over the Goon Squad. They find themselves falling to the PLEYZ, who are also having themselves a fantastic tournament, only falling to Temple Storm thus far, and they advance to losers semifinals. Yes?
Yep.
Yes.